comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
What have you done, Elijah?
I finally get to make this video, seeming as Glass is now open to the entire world. I finally get to spoil the whole thing for you guys. Because gosh, I've been waiting to do this for quite some time. So yeah, what do you know? Did you read the thumbnail, the title, and now here, the spoiler warning for Glass. If you haven't seen Glass, I'd say go check it out. I thought it was decent. I thought it was good, which I'll explain more, how he liked it a lot more, and I reviewed it last night, how it's different now. But we're just going to talk about the movie, and it's going to be a weird spoiler review, and I'll explain why. This is going to be a weird spoiler review, and the reason why is because the majority of the film, like the majority of it, had interesting things I liked about it, but nothing about it seems spoiler review worthy. Like, I regret making the Venom spoiler review, but I did it anyway, probably because I really wanted to make a spoiler review, because I would have had to wait till the Spider-Verse to even make a spoiler review, but now we're here, and I really wanted... This is like the most important spoiler review since Infinity War. Like, I just need to get this out of my system, because last night I barely reviewed the movie. I said I liked a lot of it, just was bothered by the ending. And I've had a day to think about it. I really needed some time to think about it. I just need to review it fast so I can get the views fast. You know it. And yes, the itinerary will be at the end of this video, but let's just jump right into Glass. So I'm not going to be talking a lot about the beginning part. I'm going to talk about what I liked about that, and a couple other things about it. And I'm just gonna talk about the beginning part. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is David Dunn's life nowadays. His wife has died. I was interested by that. That wasn't really in the movie. In fact, there's the one scene where his son is trying to get him out of jail by, like, coming up with a stupid story. I thought it was funny. But he, like, goes up and Ellie Staples is just like, your mother died a couple years ago to some disease. And then she just goes, you just gotta make sure you're not more into this than your dad. And I was like, what was the point of bringing up his mother's death? Jeez. Like, what was the whatever. I thought it was cool actually seeing his son back in the movie. That was a really good idea. I like that part on M. Night Shyamalan because I really like Unbreakable, and I really like the characters in that movie. And I thought the son's kind of a wimp a lot of the time, and kind of annoying, and I guess there's Shyamalan dialogue. One thing I liked about this movie is there wasn't a lot of just that Shyamalan dialogue that you're like, oh god, like, there wasn't really like that. It actually felt like M. Night Shyamalan really took his time to write good dialogue, which is why the film is so entertaining. It's because it has interesting characters and good dialogue. The ending is a whole different story, which I'm going to talk about why I'm really bothered by that ending, and I feel like it could have been done so many different ways, but now we're stuck with... Alright, so the thing about this movie is that it's actually a well-made movie. Like, it feels like I feel like M. Night Shyamalan took time to think about the dialogue, the writing's a different story, but it's still like he took time to think about the characters, the writing, what they've been doing. I thought it was cool. Another thing that M. Night Shyamalan came with a really tagged on annoying ones that I feel like he needs to stop doing. It's like, when he's in the movie, we're just like, oh! You have an ego! I mean, I actually don't know if he has an ego, to be honest, but it's like, it's tagged on when M. Night Shyamalan does that. But his ego, but his thing in this movie, mind-blowing, guess what? It was the same guy from the first Unbreakable. You know how amazing that is. This movie also has a twist problem, which I almost feel like I'm going to make a whole video talking about how to do plot twists. I think that sounds fun for me. But the plot twist at the end of this movie, that's just, I don't know why that's in there. I don't know why he still does those. But I liked seeing his son working with his dad. I thought that was a cool dynamic. God, David Dunn is sad. So yeah, I really liked where David Dunn's life was been. It seems like, what's his name? M. Night Shyamalan's character, Kevin, the Horde, he's just been doing, I also liked the name, like how he's kind of like a legend, almost like David Dunn's almost like a legend. He just has the cloak on, and he's stopping crime, and it's like almost 20 years, now he's recognized, and he's called The Observer, which I liked that. I thought that was a cool name. But then the Horde is back, and he's just continuously kidnapping teenage girls. And one of the reasons, there's a sequence in this movie, you guys remember, where they're using the light, which is something that really confuses me. The entire light thing, I don't like that. I mean, I think it's cool, but the thing about the light is that it forces a different personality out. What's so special about the light? At least make the light an interesting color. The lights just flash. Different color. Is any time a light flashes, it makes them change personality? Or is it like this specific light and this specific tone and everything? I just think that was lazy. Anyway, I feel like the light should have just been like white light. It should have been like a green light or a light that actually seemed like, make it a creative light. It's just like Flash, and then he changed his personality. He said, whatever, that just bothered me. It just felt lazy, just like, hey, bring in some lights here. Yeah, we're not going to change the color of them because we don't have some $1 million budget here. Whatever. He continuing kidnapping people, that's it. Then there's a fight scene between the Observer and the Horde, which I thought was really entertaining. I like the fight scenes in this movie because they're not fast. They're like slow fast, which is for some reason insanely entertaining. I don't know why. Thought it was cool seeing them punch. One thing I noticed about this movie, this is going to be weird, but this movie could have been better if it was R-rated. I think The Split could have been better if it was R-rated. That wasn't even a complaint by any people. But there's a scene in the movie where the Horde eats someone, like, more than once. Like, he, I mean, there's one scene where he goes into, like, the sewer, and then he's, like, transforms into the Horde, and he looks like he's gonna eat, or he transforms into the Beast, and he looks like he's gonna eat someone. But here, he, like, legitimately eats someone. There's blood in his mouth, and I was just like, you could have been better if you were rated R. Just to be honest, I don't know. Also, why isn't anyone stopping him from killing this guy? Are they all just staring like, oh my god, that's violent. Oh my god. Like, why is no one stopping him? He's killing someone. So yeah, the most of this movie, once they get into the actual facility, the movie isn't as entertaining, but still quite entertaining. You're basically just seeing them go around. I think that Samuel L. Jackson when he's just singing, it's kind of creepy. I liked that. Another thing about this movie that's one of my favorite scenes about this entire movie is the scene where she's interrogating all of them. Because the way this scene is shot is that every single time it switches to another person, it goes in first person for a couple seconds. I don't know why that was so cool to me, but it was like, for a couple seconds, you see the first person view of Kevin, and it's like kind of shaking a bit, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then when it actually goes to Mr. Glass, the camera's just tilted. I liked that. I thought that was interesting. And I thought that was a cool dynamic in the movie. There's a lot of this movie, like the whole action scene inside of that warehouse was fun and entertaining. He's throwing him out of the window. It was a cool scene. I feel like it could have been done. I like the scene. I feel like it ended short. I feel like there wasn't enough of it. It's just like squeeze. But I guess M. Night Shyamalan's clearly not a franchise maker, clearly, by the end of this movie. And he's clearly not someone who's really good at action, to be honest. Like, there's, like, he does the same thing in Unbreakable. Like, there's just one scene where, what's his name? He's getting, one guy's getting in a chokehold. That's the literal action in the movie. Other than that, yeah. You know, there's, like, there's a whole scene where, what's his name, Mr. Glass talks with, okay, one of my favorite parts of this entire movie, this movie could have been this movie actually would have been a lot worse if someone else played, Kevin. Because, jeez. Alright, so listen. We all know that, what's his name? Dang it. Forgetting his name. It's a given fact that James McAvoy has proven himself one of the greatest actors in Hollywood, but this movie almost solids that into the fact. And by the way, the MTS Movie Awards, which, don't worry, I'm working on the nominations so far. The MTS Movie Awards next year, this guy's gonna get nominated for Best Actor, easily. I mean, I think everybody in this movie could, but I think, it's hard, I have to nominate one person from this movie. But I thought everybody was great in this movie, and there's a whole scene in this movie where they're just flashing the light on him, and it's so cool because he has to, like, switch personalities really fast. And almost, I feel like he's not, I almost feel like that's not, like, planned personalities. I feel like James McAvoy understands his character, and every single time the light switches, he has to do a new personality, for that character. Which is interesting to me. I think that James McAvoy is a fantastic actor, and he really proves that in this movie. So I want to talk about the ending now. I mean, we've talked a lot about the beginning of this movie, like for like 10 minutes or so, longer than the actual review. But like I'll say about the beginning of this movie, it's entertaining, it's cool the way it moves. Not a lot happens. In fact, one thing I'm going to complain about this movie is that there's no arcs in this movie. There would be arcs, except for that ending. So I'm going to talk about the ending now. So, I know you've seen Glass if you're on this video, but if you haven't, epic spoiler warning, because we're going to go in depth. Like, I'm dissecting everything about this ending and why it's... Okay, ready? Here's how it starts. First off, I'm going to start the ending off where Mr. Glass slices the guy's throat. Everything about Mr. Glass escaping was cool. I don't really have much to say there. But all of a sudden, he goes and finds the Horde. They escape. One thing I think is cool is that the actual cinematographer from It Follows and the original Split is on this movie. And it's great because there's a scene in this movie where it shows this aerial view of this roof. And there's a camera like just looking through this window. Which is something that happens in the Split. And I think that shot's great. It's a really well directed film. This guy knows that. I think he should film more movies because he's like Split is a horror movie. This is no horror movie. This is like an action drama, and it's a lot more of like the original Split's like a lot more creepy. This film's not that creepy, and I liked how it's still good visually. Anyway, one thing I actually thought was weird about this movie is the TikTok. His TikTok is happening the entire movie. And I don't know why he chose that, but I liked it anyway. Anyway, he gets the horde, they escape. And one thing that's funny about this movie is when they go into this one room, he's like, Mr. Glass wheels in with his suit on. One thing that amuses me, how does the guy get clothes on? Like, I mean, he probably has, like, someone helping him. But did the horde help him get his suit on? I don't know. That was confusing to me. Anyway, the horde, he's just sitting there and he's like, talking to him. He's like, get back in your cage. And then all of a sudden, M. Night Shyamalan, because we're behind squeezes, kills the guy. There's also scenes just punching him and you just hear blood splatter. And I was like, ooh. And he, yep, like I said, benefited from rated R rating, which no one's talking about, surprisingly. Anyway, and this M. Night Shyamalan could do rated R films. I mean, no, he can't actually. Remember The Happening? Yikes. This movie, okay, let's see what else happens in this weird ending. They go so the majority of this beginning of the ending, the setup of the ending is really well done. There's not a lot to talk about there. I like the way all the characters, so his son's in the movie, the girl from Split's in the movie, which is weird to me. She was like in one shot of the trailer, which I think is interesting, because I was like, oh, is that tacked on? No, it actually felt real. It felt like it should be there, but then there's then his mother, what's his name? Mr. Glass's mother's there anyway, so then there's a fight that breaks out. They start fighting, blah, 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 blah. It feels like it's act on third act, you know. The horde's doing it. One of the best shots of this entire movie is when Mr. Glass is rolling away. He's wheeling away, and behind him, there's just a bunch of chaos. No, Chris Tucken pointed that out, and I even pointed that out in my last video, but I feel like I can point it out again. I freaking love that shot. It's amazing. It's so well done. It proves that this is a director who knows what he's doing. It's a great direction, and I love the directing of this film. So yeah, let's just jump right into the ending. They're all fighting. It's a great setup to it. There's police that arrive, everything like this. There's just fighting going on. Mr. Glass is just watching. He's like saying, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, there's for some reason, there's all fight going. Then all of a sudden, the horde jumps on the car, and then David Dunn's son goes in, and he goes like, stop! You don't know everything, or blah, blah, blah. And then Mr. Glass is like, don't tell him yet. And then he goes, the train that your father died on wasn't any ordinary train. Then it reveals, mind blown, the train that Kevin's father was on was the same train David Dunn was on. Mr. Glass couldn't have planned that out. I don't know if that's what M. Night Shyamalan wanted me to believe, but if that is, no, that's crossed the levels of believability, because Mr. Glass is freaking smart. He's an intelligent, probably the most intelligent being on the planet in this movie. But not intelligent enough to know, hey, this guy right here on the train has a son, and that son, it's obvious that this guy doesn't know that. I don't know how Mr. Glass is so amazingly smart. I mean, but I don't think that his intention was to, his intention might have been to create him. But one of the best parts about the scene is when the horde, starts walking to him, he's about to kill him, and then all of a sudden, what's his name? Mr. Glass is like, create super villains. And he's laughing, and what's so cool is that this is an insane man. He's smart, but that does not make him not insane or track. This guy is insane. And then when he grabs by the arm and he screams, I was actually thinking, don't make Mr. Glass go out like this. And no, he's laughing when it happens. And I liked that. In fact, I think the death of Mr. Glass might be the best of the deaths in this movie. We'll get that later. Okay, so there's a bunch of fighting going on. That's the one twist in this movie. Didn't really affect me that much. I was like, oh, huh. Then they all go into this tanker. They're fighting in the tank. The tank explodes. What's to say about this? It's entertaining. It's fun. But then all of a sudden, David Dunn's sitting on the ground because he just got underwater for a while. Then all of a sudden, someone goes up to him and starts to drown him. And then the one girl goes, take my hands. And then they reveal that she is part of this organization that's supposed to be killing superheroes. And then David Dunn dies. What the heck? Why would you even... Why? Why? I'll get more into that later. Then, of course, there's a really emotional scene between the girl and the Horde. She, like, makes him, like, I like the relationship between the two anyway. He, like, grabs her arm. They, like, it's, like, nice. It's a nice emotional scene. Then all of a sudden, blah! He dies. And one of the my favorite death scene, the one death scene I hate is David Dunn's death scene. Why is that even here? Let's not put it in the casting. But I feel like that ending right there was fine enough for me. Here's the thing that I just I hate about this ending. Alright, I'll explain where this movie really crashes for me and its ending and why I'm not even going to give this movie that amazingly positive of a rating. And here's why. It's because the ending of this film is simply anticlimactic. Yes, the Horde dies, Mr. Glass dies, the Observer dies. Why? Oh, wait. Why? Explain to me why they needed to die. Hey, I'm gonna... why? Just that frustrates me. It just makes me mad that this is what we got. We've been building up to the Unbreakable sequel for a while. No one even has an arc. Like, David Dunn could have had an arc in this movie. The Observer... not the Observer, sorry. The Horde could have had an arc in this movie. Mr. Glass could have had an arc in this movie. But M. Night Shyamalan's like, nope. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. And we're like, why? 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 It just frustrates me. It just makes me upset. And it reveals she's part of the secret organization. He's all like, yep, these guys, they didn't get caught. They're all fine. There's another thing I hate about David Dunn's death. I think James McAvoy's death when he dies is brilliantly well done. It's a great death. I just hate how he died, and that's the worst part of this. What's bad about this ending is it's well made, but it's just upsetting and angering. And then Mr. Glass dies, of course, because the Observer just totally kills him. But then, when David Dunn dies, the worst part about David Dunn's death is the fact that he like, gets drowned. And it's like, it's such an upsetting death. He's by far, like, the character. I just care for him. I like this guy. I want to see more things about him. And then M. Night Shyamalan's like, I would have been fine if him, like, sacrificing himself, but it's just like, oh. You're dead. Like, you're dead. It's... Also, Jeremy Jahns already made this point in his original trailer review, but when they're all sitting in the room, why doesn't, what's his name, David Dunn just break the chains, knock James McAvoy, knocks the Horde out, and then just kills Mr. Glass? Then none of this would have happened then. Oh, dang. The stupid thing happens a lot in this game. There you go. Just, I hated the way this movie wrapped up. Let's talk more about the stupid ending. Why it bothers me so much. The ending continued. Proceeds to go on. Proceeds to piss us more off. As if we were not pissed off enough. And then it reveals, like, she's part of the secret organization. She's like, oh, they didn't. Nothing bad happened. We just eliminated them. Well. Then there's a scene where she's in this comic book store, and why was that in the movie, to be honest? I feel like there was an actual plot line with that, but M. Night Shyamalan was like, no, I kind of want to kill all of them. And then a lot of stuff got cut out. Props to why this movie is kind of messy, to be honest. Anyway, let's see, more on this ending, this weird ending. And then she's like, did all the files get deleted? Yep. And then he was like, are you sure they weren't saved again? And he's like, I don't understand. They were streamed to a private site or whatever. And then it just zooms into her face and she was like, this was a suicide mission, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to explain why I think this ending should have done better after I talk about the entire ending. But she goes in the hall, she screams. Then the three people who like had a relationship with the heroes and villains, they all get these files of the actual video. They decide to release it out to the world, and like that, it goes viral. Like, I know things go viral fast, but not in like a minute. Like, everybody's like, oh, like everybody around them's like, oh. And I know from someone who uploads videos almost every day, I know that maybe 15 people would see my video in one day. That's the 20 to, like, let's see, 15 to 30 people see one video in every day by me. That is the best I have. I don't know why. Nothing goes viral that fast. It even goes on the news like that. I mean, it was up for 2 hours. But everyone sees it at the same freaking time. Was there some sync that happened? I don't know. Then all of a sudden the movie cuts out to make us even more mad. And yeah, let's explain the alternate ending of this movie. Why this movie could have been so much better and so less satisfying. It could have earned a 9 out of 10 by me. Maybe at least an 8. Alright, so here's how this movie could have ended. It could have done this. It could have not killed... It could have killed Mr. Glass. Because I think Mr. Glass... Like, it would have been cool if the Observer, like, killed... Like if the Observer's, like, trying to stop them from killing Mr. Glass. And then, the Horde kills Mr. If the end of the movie was them going to jail or something, like, Mr. Glass gets killed by the Horde. Let's start. Get ready? Mr. Glass reveals that he killed Kevin's father. Kevin goes up to him. He kills Mr. Glass. It's a very sad death. The Observer and him have a fight. The police come. They arrest them. They go to jail. Then we can just go from there. And it can just be... Then we can just go, like, cut out the scene where it's, like... Cut out everything about that stupid organization or whatever thing. Make it that he did stream it. He did stream this whole thing. And then we can figure this out later. I mean, you don't have to figure it out now, but this is how it should have gone. Then the whole ending scene happens. I mean, it's dumb. It's a dumb ending scene, but... Then you could have made this movie less satisfying and less angering, because now you've just broken any buzz. I mean, here's the thing I know about this movie. I know M. Night Shyamalan doesn't want to set up a universe, but you hyped us for it. You set up a sequel, and now you're saying in your sequel, no, everyone's dead. The way I describe this movie is like seeing Avengers Infinity War, and then just... Endgame doesn't happen. Like, just there's no movie called Avengers Endgame, and the Avengers Infinity War is supposed to be the final MCU film. No other ones come after, and all of a sudden, it ends like that. That is the ending to Avengers. That's what this movie's like. It's that annoying. It's like, I don't know what went through his head when he decided, hey, no one cares about a character like David Dunn or Mr. Glass. No one wants to see more of these characters that we've barely seen of. Here's the thing. About David Dunn that pisses me off. In Unbreakable, that is a David Dunn or The Observer origin story. This film is a final story and a death story. You didn't give us a middle chapter, you didn't give us anything. It's just like, oh, he died. Like he's like a superhero. Then he has no arc, no development in this movie, and you kill him. Mr. Glass is by far the most developed. I thought that the Horde and Mr. Glass, if there was the two that died, that was fine. But the David Dunn thing's the thing that makes me so mad. I don't think they should have killed the Horde. It was unsatisfying. Killing Glass, unsatisfying. This movie is generally unsatisfying. But I'll say this, it's unsatisfying. That doesn't make it bad. I still think this is a genuinely good and entertaining film. It just has an annoying ending. There's so much enjoyment out of this movie, and it feels so bad that I can't give it that positive a rating. But like I will say, this movie is annoying a lot of the time, and I feel like there was not good decisions made when the ending of this film was written. Some people said the ending's awful, and I'm totally fine with people thinking that. I just think this movie is unsatisfying. It's not entertainless. I might even buy this movie on DVD, because I enjoyed the first part of it so much that I might even buy it on DVD, just leave when the second half happens. I think I might go see this movie again to see if it's better on rewatch, but I don't feel like waiting to do that. So yeah, Glass is not disappointing, I would say, because I liked a lot about it. For me to not say this one was disappointing, I would say that it is unsatisfying as a whole. This movie would have been satisfying if the ending just didn't kill everyone. Instead, M. Night Shyamalan tried to go the epic route, and it doesn't work. There's still room for this series to go on, but I don't really care that much, to be honest. I'm just mad. I just don't. It's like the Fantastic Beasts franchise. A lot of the time, or Jurassic World's Fantastic Beasts, a lot of the time you make a movie that's just so annoying that I don't care about future properties in that universe. Like, let's say Captain Marvel. I mean, Captain Marvel sucks. I don't really care. It won't suck, probably. Please. But let's say that Avengers Endgame sucks. I'll probably be really mad at Marvel, and I'll probably not really care that much to see what happens next. If Avengers Infinity War sucked, I would not. I mean, it's a great movie. I loved that movie. But if it sucked, then I would not care about Endgame. This is the type of thing you look at. I don't know if M. Night Shyamalan cares whether we think about his movie, but what I'll say in my review of this movie, the ending's unsatisfying, but as it stands, there's enough enjoyment for this movie to be not give it just a good score. So, here's my final score for this movie. You've been waiting for it, I finally have whittled it down. I'm going to give Glass a 6. There's my rating, finally. Finally happy, now you can really understand where I'm coming from. The ending is not that great, but the rest of the movie's amazing, it's great. Might be my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film. I still think Unbreakable might be better still. But I think that this movie could have been so much better if M. Night Shyamalan didn't make the ending the way he did. What do you guys think on Glass? I finally really got to review this movie. Last time it was like the trailer to the review. This is the review for Glass. What do you guys think on Glass? Let me know in the comment section below. Yes, the MTS Movie Awards nominations will hopefully come out this week, and I'm really working hard to edit this video. But it's very hard, because I should probably prioritize a Glass review on the time it's really relevant. See you guys next time. Bye! And yes, I'm reviewing The Kid Who Would Be King. Yay.